Alright guys, I'm back. I'm back with another episode of Underworld Evolution. So now today we're talking about a guy called George Thomas, aka Geweld. That literally translates to violence. This guy and many others come from Bishop Lavis in Cape Town. George Thomas was born in 1966 in Bishop Lavis, like we said. Currently, it is thought that he's the most high-ranking member of the 28th. Now, when George was 9 years old, he was arrested for home break-ins. Now, because of his age, he was quickly released. But less than 10 years later, at age 15, which was around in 1981, he was arrested again, but he was not released this time. So in South Africa, we had what we call the reform schools. He was arrested again, this time as an adult in age 20, around 86. He was arrested, this time for murder. While in prison, he assaulted his very first correctional officer. From behind bars, he started ordering hits. Now, as you can see, for anyone who is violent enough to go against correctional officers, it means this guy had no fear. He feared nothing. And of course, we'll see early on, his life was mostly in prison. But in 1993, most of these cases were softened, and people who were serving life had their cases committed, and that's why people like George were able to get out of prison after 1994 elections. However, George being George, he was arrested again for illegal drugs, something that you may call minor, around 2010, 2011. Now, while in prison, he ordered some hits on the people who were supposed to cover his case, from police officers and to prosecutors and witnesses. He didn't care. He ordered the hits. August 2004, Josh and three of his guys, or two of his guys, were actually trying to hijack a guy by the name of Mahmoud Sali and Blanky van die Westhuizen. So it went south and they ended up killing Mahmoud and his girlfriend. He was arrested after he brandished an unlicensed firearm at police. The police went to his house, and that's when they found his wife, Shamila, with the drugs. Between catching that case and catching the bigger case in 2010, he ordered 7 hits. So if you follow this channel, you know that the 28s are all about murder. They are all about committing crimes, violent crimes. So if he's the leader, then to him murder is nothing. He says he's actually killed. In fact, he has actually stabbed 27 different correctional officers whenever they refused to go by his rules. So anyway, his case went on until 2015, from 2011 to 2015, when he got the sentence of guilty. Now his total case is 175 years. I think it is 25 for each of the 7 people he ordered hits against. Looking at this guy's face, you do not want to mess with him. Whether you are a cop, whether you are a street guy, whether you are whoever, you don't want to mess with this guy. So yeah, currently he's serving his sentence at Bangizini Supermax. That he's a 28 for life. So people like him and John Mongrel, most people know John Mongrel because he got onto the documentaries early on. But then there are people like Geweld Thomas who are still alive and who could tell similar stories. I personally don't want to meet him, so maybe we'll have to send one of the other British journalists. So remember guys, subscribe, like, share, ask questions, and as always, give comments. If you have any queries here, please share them with me so that whatever needs correcting, we can correct it. All right. See you next week.